In the heart of England's New Forest, during the Dark Ages, a story of hope and desperation was quietly unfolding. 6 women, all former nuns, found themselves bound to the will of one man, Lord William Scott. He was 41, nearing the end of his life by the standards of the time, and his cruelty knew no bounds. He had taken them from their sacred vows and, under the law of the land, became their keeper, but he was no protector. He treated them as his property, his slaves, forcing them into a life of misery and degradation they never chose. The women, ranging in age from 35 to 64, held onto their faith, praying for a release that never seemed to come. Day after day, they endured, but in the quiet moments, a different kind of prayer was being answered, one they crafted themselves. Secretly, for years, they had been hiding away what little money they could. A coin here, a trinket there. It wasn't much, but it was the seed of a dream, a whisper of freedom. They planned and plotted, imagining a life beyond the oppressive walls of Lord Scott's estate. Their goal was simple, to have enough to escape. Enough for food, a blanket each, and shelter for just over 2 weeks. Lord Scott was a man who delighted in his own power. He loved hosting extravagant dinner parties, parading his wealth and influence. For the 6 women, these nights were the worst. Guests, emboldened by wine and their host's vile example, would use them as they pleased. But one evening, the biggest dinner party of the year was announced. The house would be chaotic, filled with boisterous guests and servants rushing everywhere. In the midst of this grand affair, the women saw not just another night of horror, but something else shimmering on the horizon, an opportunity. This party was different. It felt charged with a new energy. Their secret savings had recently grown, thanks to a few hidden pieces of gold they'd managed to acquire. This gold changed everything. It transformed their desperate hope into a viable, tangible plan. They could now afford not just a few nights' stay, but perhaps a new beginning. As they were forced to serve the rowdy guests, they exchanged fleeting glances, their shared understanding a silent, powerful current running beneath the noise of the party. The plan was set, they just needed their moment. As the night wore on, the air grew thick with feasting and revelry. Then, Lord Scott, in a show of grandeur, led his entire party out into the sprawling back gardens to admire the moonlit grounds. The main house fell suddenly, eerily quiet. This was it. The chance they had been praying and planning for. Without a word, moving as one, they slipped away from their posts, through the dark corridors and out a side entrance. They didn't look back. They just ran, melting into the protective darkness of the New Forest. It took nearly half an hour before their absence was noted. Lord Scott, furious and humiliated, erupted. He ordered a frantic search, his rage echoing through the grand old house. But as his men scrambled and his guests looked on, the immense stress and fury took their toll on his aging body. Lord William Scott collapsed, clutching his chest. He died right there, a painful and undignified end to a cruel life. The 6 women knew nothing of this. Their minds were focused only on the path ahead. For 15 days, they walked, putting as much distance as they could between themselves and their past. Their journey was hard, but every step was a step towards freedom. They walked toward Wales, towards a place they had only heard whispers of, a place they hoped would be their sanctuary. Their destination was the stately manor of Sir Anthony Scott, a name they had overheard but knew little about. They believed he was a powerful man, perhaps one they could appeal to. They would offer him their gold in exchange for their freedom. Finally, they arrived, weary and anxious, at the gates of the vast estate. They were granted an audience with Sir Anthony, a man of 29 whose power was matched only by his stern appearance. They stood before him, presented their gold, and bravely stated their plea for freedom from his brother. Sir Anthony listened, his expression unreadable. When they finished, he spoke, his voice calm. "Ladies," he began, "my brother wrote to me, telling me all about you." The women's hearts sank. They looked at each other in shock and fear. Had their escape been for nothing? Were they to be sent back? Sir Antony continued, "But my brother, he is dead. Did you not hear?" A wave of stunned silence filled the room. He explained that Lord William had passed away the very night they fled. "This means you are already free," he declared. "The law no longer binds you to him. Keep your gold. Use it to buy a house, to build a future." And so they did. With their newfound freedom and their small fortune, the 6 women journeyed on and established a new life together. Legend says they used their gold to found a public house, a place of community and safety, which would go on to become one of the oldest in the world. Now, this story is just that, a story. It isn't a documented historical event. So, what does it mean? What is the real treasure in this tale? Is it the gold? Is it the escape? Or is it something more? I'll leave that for you to decide. Because the journey to freedom and what it looks like when you get there is different for every single one of us. What does freedom mean to you? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.